This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Welcome back to our road edition of the channel as we get set up for Edmonton Oilers discussion once again today. Obviously, a very quiet news day in terms of the Oilers front, but I do want to pass along some thoughts to the Stelter family, who unfortunately once again is going through one of life's hardest hardships. Mike Stelter announcing today on Twitter that he is seeking treatment in the U.S. for tumors on his spine. So, for a family that gave us little Ben there and absolutely allowed us to latch on to some energy I don't think Oil Country has had or will ever have again. It just really, really sucks to see again that they're having to go through once again that whole that whole scare. So just wanted to pass along some thoughts over to the Stelter family today. Obviously, I think everyone watching this would join me in doing that. So just want to open that up right off the top because that is, I think, out of anything breaking out of the Oilers family today, that is the top news. And of course, very unfortunate to hear, especially after they endured everything with Ben over the past few years. And now Mike is going through some stuff as well. So that's where we open up today. Obviously, that sucks big time. And there isn't really much else to talk about, right? That's where we're at. It's July 13th. The fourth line center wait is on hold until you at least sign Bouchard and McLeod. McLeod is a done deal, maybe not a done deal. Who knows? Obviously, arbitration is still waiting. And yeah, and then Bouchard's just kind of floating around until something gets done for McLeod. So that's where the Oilers currently are at. So I wanted to take today to just kind of ask the open-ended question because this is something I've gotten a lot of chatter within the comments section about over the past 2 weeks now as we're approaching July 14th, tomorrow, Friday, bing bang, is just simply where we find ourselves. Are the Oilers a better team than they were last year, right? And obviously, I think the question is, last year, are the Oilers a better team than they were when we went to round 3 against the Colorado Avalanche? And when you ask that question and that question and that question, you end up maybe kind of lost, right? The Oilers have done a lot of things to make this team better, but also, I think to a lot of casual eyes, I think the answer would be that this team is in fact worse right now than it was to start 2022-2023. And I just want to quickly break down some thoughts I have on it and go through some of my ideas there as to where the Oilers might be right now, where the Oilers need to get to, and what the Oilers need to do going through the season to get where they're going. So, number one, I think what people are upset with is losing Nick Bjugstad on the fourth line. Obviously, this Oilers team loved bulking up at the trade deadline. You acquired Matthias Ekholm. He's still here for the next few years. That's a big win. That's a big strike in the we are a better team next year category. However, right, you lose Bjugstad, who was a guy in the trenches. He was a guy who won you faceoffs, penalty killer, not to mention 6'6", right? A guy that you really liked having his size and mobility out there on the ice. Now, yes, sure, you have Vinny Desharnais still back there, and you still have all your taller guys around him. But you also lose Klim Kostin, so you lose team toughness, and you lose the little engine that could in Kyler Yamamoto. And who we've replaced those guys with? Well, again, right, the question becomes Connor Brown, will his injury return? Not can he stay healthy, because this is where a lot of people have it mistaken, is Connor Brown is not actually injury prone. He just had a horrific injury to start last year and took an entire year to rehab it, and thanks to that, the Oilers benefit, right? He's only lost one full season. He's not a guy who has had ACL problems or MCL problems or hip problems for 5 years now. He has just had this 1 year where he had a bad go and then has lost some games to some other stuff over the course of the past few years. So it's not a huge injury problem per se with Connor Brown, but it's if the injury is healed properly and able to sustain itself over the course of a full NHL season. Now, obviously, Connor Brown, I think, makes the Edmonton Oilers much better. You've seen everything and anything that Connor Brown says about playing next to Connor McDavid. It is going to be back of his hand that easy for Connor Brown to pick up and do that with him if he gets the chance. So I have a lot of faith in it, right? Obviously, I've been steered in the direction of this isn't Toby Reeder, this isn't Ty Ratty, this is Connor Brown, right? This is a guy who legitimately gets Connor McDavid, legitimately is able to carry himself at the NHL level without Connor McDavid. So that's a big strike in the yes, we got better column. Wait and see, though. See what happens. Obviously, that's the only replacement for Yamamoto and Kostin up front, right? Leon Peterson, Drake Caggiula, not really guys that you expect to see featured in more than 5 or 10 games each this season. So, right, we had Brad Malone and James Hamblin play a handful of games last year, and I don't even think half of the Oilers fan base would remember that they did. So, right, it's just kind of one of those things. Don't worry about those guys. They do not have an impact. The Oilers did not get worse because of them. You got to have your role players that come up from the minors every once in a while. So why not them, right? Nice little reunion for Drake Caggiula, and Lane Peterson seems like he could be a nice little shoe in there on the fourth line should we not find a fourth line center to start the year, right? Again, Klim Kostin didn't come to us until midway through camp, so anything's possible going into September. Now you talk about the defense, right? As long as Bouchard comes back, everything remains unchanged. The only thing that changes is cross your fingers, Cody Ceci comes fully healthy into camp. And that's the same thing with Vinny Desharnais. Friends, you know what? Vinny Desharnais might have struggled a bit in the playoffs. I'm not going to pretend like he didn't. But you look at it positively, is he's getting a fresh start with NHL experience this year, a full training camp, hopefully, because he won't get injured in captain skates. Again, cross your fingers, let's hope. And, well, the Oilers get going, and they've got 7D. Philip Broberg steps up, rocks it in a nice little middle six or middle role in the Oilers defense. And you know what? All's hunky-dory and good to go. Right? I said the Oilers defense wasn't a problem last year. If they all played to capability, they were fine. Well, Cody Ceci drug them down because he was injured the whole year, is what kind of the reports are saying. So if Cody Ceci is healthy, good to go, and everybody else is not nicked up at all, we are going to be just fine, right? Darnell Nurse obviously played much better once Matthias Ekholm arrived. Oh, by the way, we've got Matthias Ekholm. Oh, by the way, we don't have Tyson Barrie anymore. See where I'm going? Like, things are looking good for the Edmonton Oilers going into the year on the defense. I think the necessary changes to start the year are there. So yes, the defense, I would say, is better to start this year than last year. And then you look at the goaltending, right? You've got a full year of Stuart Skinner in the NHL, almost won Rookie of the Year, like just missed it by that much. Realistically, one other guy's not there. He's the Rookie of the Year, so that's pretty good. And then, of course, Jack Campbell, he can't do much worse. Like, legitimately, Jack Campbell can't do worse. So he can do better, and that's a good thing for the Oilers. So as long as Jack Campbell's any better than he was last year, we're looking good. We're looking really good. So that's kind of the situation. I think right now, just because of the lack of moves being made on the NHL roster, I think that's where a lot of people are concerned with the Oilers getting worse, right? You lose Klim Kostin, you lose Yamamoto, you lose Bjugstad. That's a big hit. But don't forget, you're going to replace them with another guy, too, that I didn't mention, Raphael Lavoie. This guy is 6'4", by the way. If I haven't told you about him, my goodness, go back and watch some old videos of mine, because this kid, he's going to be special. Whether he's a top 6 forward ever in the NHL, that's not what I mean. 6'4", rugged, can score goals. That's what you want in your bottom 6. And if Raphael Lavoie brings that to the Oilers this year, bingo, that's what we need. And obviously that doesn't necessarily replace Klim Kostin beating people up, but it will replace a little bit of that size advantage that the Oilers need to have that they lost by losing Mr. Nick Bjugstad. All right, friends, I've talked enough. I've got ball to get to. Maybe we'll get some kind of short out there, me swinging the bat or something silly for you on YouTube. Maybe you know what? If we're on the short diamond tonight, maybe I hit one down right field line and we hit a home run. I don't know. We'll find out. You have a great rest of your night. Again, my thoughts today with the Stelter family. Very unfortunate news, and that one hits hard, right? You're not expecting to see that at all, and that comes out today from Mike, and wishing him the best in getting treatment and obviously getting a lot better. Friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here.